Hey there! Today in this video, we are going to be talking about three things that I learned from the book The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. In this book, Michael shares why small businesses struggle and what is it that they should do about it. This video, therefore, is for small and medium-sized business owners, family business owners, and any youngsters who are planning to or have joined a small business or their family business. So without any further ado, let's jump into point number one. Point number one, what is business made up of? Michael says it's extremely important to know what the business is made up of. And he says the business is made up of two things. First is the technical aspect and the second is operational aspects. Now, what do I mean by technical aspects? Well, let's say cooking is a technical aspect. If you're starting a restaurant or if you're starting a food business of any kind, cooking activity is a technical aspect of the business, whereas there are operational aspects of the business which may involve marketing, which may involve hiring people, which may involve managing people, which may involve purchasing the right quantities, which may involve customer service. So all of these aspects are operational aspects. Now as you see this, you will realize that both these elements require different kind of skill sets and it requires different kind of approaches therefore. So for example, a technical skill set to do the technical job right, one needs to be an expert on the subject matter. Like for example, in cooking, one needs to be an expert cook. But when it comes to operational aspects, you need several skills. You need good communication skills, you need good problem solving skills, you need good people skills, you need good strategy skills, you need skills to develop a system. Michael says that there are two kind of entrepreneurs. One who's a technical entrepreneur and the other one he calls a businessman. A technical entrepreneur is somebody who loves doing technical job, and that is one of the reasons why he even started the business. Now, is this wrong? No, of course it's not wrong, because you know certain thing is why you would start certain thing. I started my career as a computer assembler because I knew how to go about assembling computers. But did that make me a good businessman? Answer to that is no, because for me to be a good computer assembling business, I needed to know what all brands are available. Where do I get them? How do I negotiate and get the best price for me? Where do I find customers? I didn't know any of that. So once you understand what is technical and what is operational, then you need to find ways to go about figuring out how you can do both in the best possible way to scale your business. And this brings us to point number two. And what is it that you're supposed to do? So Michael says, think of your business as a nationwide franchise and start your first store with that thought. Now, what does this mean? The moment you think about franchise, which means you're selling your business to somebody else, you have to think of systems. Now, why is that? Because when you're selling the business to somebody, let's say, for example, when you sell McDonald's as a franchise to somebody, that somebody needs to know how to run that franchise, which is all the operational aspect. The strategy aspect or the cooking aspect, technical aspect also needs to be processified, if that's the word, so that that person can, whoever has taken the franchise, can run the system and the system can produce the results. So Michael says you should have a system to do everything in your business, in your operations. You should have a system to train people, and you should also have a system to help them train the second level of people that may get hired at a later stage. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs that I work in day out do not respect the systems. In fact, today I had a call with somebody who was struggling with his warehouse and inventory. 1 year ago, I had a call with him and he was struggling with the same thing. But he does not want to develop system because the business is running. He's very happy being a small business. If that is you, then this video is not for you. But if you are somebody who's looking to scale business, if you're somebody who's looking to have a business that pays for you and not the other way around, then that is what you will need to do. Built-in systems. Michael says it beautifully. He says that if you're a small business and if you have to do everything in your business, then that's not a business. That's a low-paying job. And it's a bad job, he says, because you in that job are working for a lunatic. Lunatic means somebody who's lost it, somebody who's mad, right? Now that brings us to point number three, which is what are the kind of systems that you will need to build. So Michael says there are three kind of systems that you will need to build. The first one is hard systems. Hard systems mean like for example, you bring in a coffee machine in your restaurant and that coffee machine kind of automates the making of coffee, right? Now those are hard systems. If you're into manufacturing, you bring in a manufacturing machine, a packaging machine. Now those are hard systems. You bring a POS, ERP, all of that are hard systems. The second kind of systems that you require is soft systems. Now, soft systems typically mean policies that outline discipline that needs to be followed in your company, and they are meant to be for the people who work in your company, including yourself. and they also kind of create a culture in the organization. So in my organization, because we are a consulting company, we pay a lot of emphasis on continuous learning. The day we stop learning, we are not going to work. And we also pay a lot of emphasis on learning and therefore improving efficiency. So the culture has turned out to be such that everybody is always looking to make things easier in the way we go about doing things. So if there is somebody who comes into the company, is recruited, normally we don't end up recruiting people like that, but assuming we end up recruiting wrong people who are lazy, who are not wanting to learn, who are not efficient, they automatically won't be able to gel with the kind of other people they are surrounded with, who are super efficient, wanting to be more efficient, and are constantly crazy about learning and sharing ideas. Now that culture comes about only when you have good policies and you have good processes that allow people to work in them. You might be mindful about this, that too many systems also are not good, so you got to strike the right balance. The third kind of system that Michael says one must have is information system. Now when you build systems, at every point when a person uses that system, there is a data point that is generated. For example, when let's take an example of inventory, and in a restaurant, when you get your raw material in and it is weighed, and then the barcode is applied. The moment the barcode is applied, the software gets the message, because the barcode is printed from the software, that these many kgs of this particular material was bought into the warehouse. Now when you track these things, or even when it is issued, the barcode is scanned, and therefore your ERP records that these many kgs of material has been issued by the warehouse to the kitchen. Now when you track all of these, you're not actually making anybody write any numbers on some Excel sheet. It's happening as people follow the process. And these numbers can be utilized to understand what's your consumption level. It can be understood by what is selling more. It can help you strategize the next move in your business far better. So you can get away with things which are on which you're spending a lot, but the ROI, return on investment, is not as much. You can change the way you go about selling, because now you know these kind of customers buy your products and these others do not buy your product, and therefore let's market it in this way, because every time this message goes around, there are more number of leads. So when you start measuring things, which is the other system that you require, which is the information system, you get information that you can rely on instead of hearsay. In absence of this information system, what happens? You're left to believe what your employees say. And let me tell you this, whenever you ask an employee, why is a certain thing not happening? The employee, because he's an employee and he's not as smart as you are, because should he have been that smart, he would have started his own business. But because he is not that smart, he's going to come up with reasons that first come to his mind, and they may absolutely not be correct. We have seen this happen for all my tenure as a consultant in the last 10 years, that people do not know the high level understanding of what they know, what has happened recently, and sometimes they even come up with excuses. So you must have these three systems: hard system, soft system. Hard system is machine, soft system is policies, and third is information system, which is your MIS, which is information data that you can get collected. So with these 3 points, I would highly recommend that you buy a book called The E-Myth Revisited. Again, this video is not sponsored by anybody, but this is a book that I recommend to all my clients and prospects and friends who are in business, for them to think, can I franchise my business? And if I have to franchise my business, then I have to think of ways in which things can be done without me doing it myself. I'm not talking about delegation. If you want to know more about delegation, put it in the comment box and I'll make a separate video for it. It's a highly abused word in my opinion, and it deserves a separate video to explain why I feel so. So if you like this video, please hit a big fat thumbs up. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button. It's free for you, but it will give me a lot of pleasure in knowing that these are the videos that resonate with you, and YouTube will know that these videos need to be showcased or suggested to the right kind of audience. We want to become a very big family, and your support and subscribing, liking, sharing will make a very big difference. So until we meet next time, all you fine people, scale your business. Don't be limited with your dreams. India is growing and so should you. All you fine people, keep propelling.